In this film, the heroine tries to escape from her past and tries to forget what happened through fleeting romances. One day, she has to face her past face to face. What secret the heroine is keeping and what happened to her past, you will find out in this retelling. It's movie recap zone and a new retelling. Enjoy the movie. In the beginning, we see the past of the heroes. A trailer burning in the middle of the plane. Then, we are transported to the present. Sylvia wakes up John. The heroine opened the window. Outside, a woman was walking with her children. She covered the children's eyes with her hand. Sylvia stood at the window without clothes. The heroine's friend got dressed and left. Later, Sylvia met with Laura. She brought her friend coffee. Carlos watched the women. When they left the car park, the man followed them. The heroine arrived at work. The cook told her about the menu for the day. The girl noticed a colleague's gaze on her. Then she went out into the hall to meet the guests. The colleague drew Sylvia's attention to one table. Behind it sat 4 men in suits. The heroine recommended wine to them. Sylvia went out for a smoke by the coast. She sat on a rock. The woman was making marks on her leg. Then she walked closer to the cliff. The ocean was storming. The guests left the restaurant. Sylvia was returning to work. One of the men approached her. He invited the blonde to dinner. Sylvia said she doesn't dine with restaurant patrons. John noticed the friend and the stranger. Also watching the couple was Carlos. Sylvia and the guests got some privacy. They had a good time. Let's go back to the hero's past. 3 guys arrived at the scene of the fire. Santiago's father and his girlfriend Gina were burned in the trailer. The guys examined the remains of the house. On the way home, the guy quarreled with Cristobal. The hero was dropped off from the car. He was walking along the motorway. In a tree near his house, he noticed a bird. The guy picked up the bird. He brought it into the house. In the kitchen sat the hero's mother and her friends. Santiago didn't like the women drinking alcohol. In the evening, Santiago and Cristobal were resting in their room. They heard their mother complaining to her friends about her life. The boys were going to their father's funeral. Their mother did not go with them. The boys saw Gina's husband, Robert, at the cemetery with the children. After the ceremony, Robert said some nasty things to the boys. The guys got into the car. Santiago looked at the man's family. Robert and the kids drove off. We are transported to the events of the next month. Carlos and the men played dominoes in the hangar. The girl took orders for the pilots. Maria played with the other children. Santiago called his daughter to the plane. The men and the girl got into the cockpit. They flew to a ranch to be pollinated. Santiago and a colleague drew lots for the job. Carlos won, while Santiago pollinated the field. Maria cooked lunch. Carlos went into town. In the next scene, we see the past before the fire. A pickup truck was parked on the motorway. Nick was waiting for Gina. A woman drove up to him in her vehicle. Nick got into the car. He started kissing his girlfriend. The man suggested that she rest in the trailer. When they arrived at the location, Gina looked around the trailer. They had an active time. Marianne is at home cooking dinner. Gina has come home. She substitutes for her daughter in the kitchen. The narrative moves back to the present time. Sylvia came to work. The woman went into the kitchen. A senator was on his way to the restaurant. She warned the cook about it. John asked who his friend had spent the night with. Sylvia wasn't going to answer the man's questions. In the lounge, she made a remark to the waitress. Sylvia went out for a smoke with Laura. A black Mercedes pulled up in front of the restaurant. It was driven by the woman's new mate. Sylvia went to the car. John ran after her. He was jealous of his friend. The heroine told the man to stay out of her way. The car drove off. Carlos followed them. John also decided to follow his friend. He caught up with the black car. The man wanted to talk to the heroine. The woman's mate drove away. She had an argument with John. It started to rain. Carlos offered the woman a lift home. She accepted. In the car, they met. The next scene is a flashback from the character's past. Santiago is watching Gina's funeral. When Robert's car and kids drive by, he hides in his pickup truck. Afterwards, the guy watches the family. Time passes. He sees Gina's daughter leaving the house. The guy follows her. Mariana goes to the mini-market. In the shop, Santiago approaches the girl. He wants to know more about Gina and Nick's relationship. In the not-too-distant past, Mariana is cooking dinner. From the window, she sees the plane with her father falling. We are then transported back to the past before the fire. Gina meets Robert after work. The woman talks about going to the mall. The man wants to go with his wife. The whole family goes shopping. Gina says she forgot her wallet. She goes back to the house. Marianne wants to go to the toilet. In the house, the girl hears her mother talking to someone on the phone. Gina says she called Aunt Letitia. At the shopping center, Gina leaves to get some fabric. Robert and the younger children go shopping for other items. Marianne watches her mother. She sees Gina leaving the mall. The woman gets into the car. She drives to meet Nick. The family is waiting for her outside the mall. Gina says that the fabric order hasn't been placed. In the next snippet, we see the present. Carlos and Sylvia arrive at the house. The heroine suggests that an acquaintance stop by for a visit. She pours herself a drink and goes into the bedroom. Sylvia comes out to the guest in a dressing gown. She wants to have fun with him. Carlos refuses her and leaves. We return to the moment after the fire. Santiago has arrived at Robert's house. He knocks on Mariana's window. The boys agree to meet at the windmill. Santiago is waiting for the girl. The heroine does not understand why the guy called her for a walk. They shoot birds with a slingshot. Then they cook their prey on the fire. The boys talk about their parents. In the next scene, we see the not-too-distant past. Maria's father is in the hospital. The doctor invites Carlos into the room. Santiago asks a friend to take Maria to her mother. They fly to the town where Mariana lives. The heroes stay at the Palms Motel. Back to the events before the fire. Gina is cleaning out the trailer. Nick comes to see her. The couple kiss. She shows Nick the scar from her breast surgery. The man kisses his girlfriend. During the night, Gina talks to her eldest daughter. The woman's son hurts himself. She watches the child sleep. The next day, the children leave for school. Marianne gets separated from the younger ones. She wants to follow her mother. The girl sees Gina driving down the track. At the trailer, Nick plugs in their water heater. Gina pulls up next to a friend. Marianne watches them from behind the bushes. The events are transposed to the present day. Sylvia is walking along the seafront. Carlos follows a woman. The heroine notices an acquaintance. She asks why the man is following her. Carlos calls the woman by her old name. He tells her about Santiago's request. The man shows the heroine a photo of her daughter Maria. At home, Sylvia smokes and looks at the photo of her newborn daughter. In the next scene, we see young Santiago and Mariana chatting in nature. The girl shows pictures of her family to a friend. The boy wants to keep Mariana's picture for himself. At night, they meet in the desert. The guys burn a cactus. Marianne wants them to remember the night. They leave marks on their hands. Santiago brought his girlfriend home. He wants to spend time with the girl. The heroes went to Robert's bedroom. Santiago asked Marianne to put on Gina's nightgown. She put on Nick's shirt. The girl changes her clothes. Together they lie down on the bed. Santiago strokes the girl's hair and kisses her. Back to the present. The heroine is standing in the hall of the restaurant. She asks Sophie to fill in for her. Sylvia is going to talk to John. The couple goes to the backyard. The woman suggests that the man leave town. She wants to start over again. The friend's answer disappoints the heroine. Carlos and Maria are waiting for Sylvia at the entrance. The woman sees them. She tries to escape. Carlos calls out to her. The heroine doesn't stop. Carlos hugs his friend's daughter. In the next episode, we see the events before the fire. Gina's family is watching a film. The woman comes home late. She goes to make dinner. Marianne comes into the kitchen to talk to her mother. The woman does not want to answer her daughter's questions. In the morning, Gina watches her children leave for school. She calls Nick. The heroes meet in the supermarket. Gina decides to break off the relationship with the man. Nick promised to wait for his friend in the trailer every day. Gina had an outdoor picnic for his family. Robert is surprised. It's cold outside. He cooks burgers. Then Gina and the younger children roast marshmallows. The older kids don't join in the fun. Marianne goes to the trailer where her mother is having fun. The girl inspects it from the inside. At night, Gina and Robert try to make it. The man fails to relax. Back to the present. Sylvia arrives at her friend's house. Laura sees that the woman is distressed. They go to look for Carlos and Maria. The women go to different motels. Sylvia tells her friend that she doesn't deserve her daughter. The next scene is a flashback from the character's past. Santiago returns home. Mariana has come to visit a friend. She chats with the boyfriend's mother. The women go out to dinner. Santiago shows Mariana his parents' room. The guys are relieved. We are transported to the time before the fire. Gina is cleaning the house. She looks at the clock. The woman is preoccupied with herself, but her mind is restless. She keeps thinking about Nick. At night, Gina suffers from insomnia. During the day, she sorted out the laundry. The woman looked at her watch again. She went to the trailer. She caught up with Nick on the motorway. After school, Marianne arrived at the trailer. The girl looked out the window. She saw her mother having fun with a man. This startled the heroine. In the present tense, Laura and Sylvia found Carlos with the girl. Maria does not want to see her mother. The women rent a room in the same hotel. Sylvia watches Carlos' door through the window. Early in the morning, she sees an open door. The heroine runs to the room. She wants to talk to the girl. Carlos tries to stop her. Maria agrees to talk to the mother. Sylvia closes the door. She apologizes and says that she has been thinking about Maria all the time. The girl tells about Santiago being in the hospital. Carlos and Laura are waiting outside the door. Maria agrees to go to Mexico with her mother. We watch the events before the fire. Gina and Nick leave the trailer. Mariana goes inside. She opens the gas on the cooker. Also, the girl unscrews the pipe. She looks out over the plain. Ina prays with her youngest daughter. Marianne is reading. The woman is not happy with Marianne's behavior. The next scene is the character's past. Cristobal asks Santiago about Mariana. He wants the heroes to break up. Santiago and Mariana are on holiday together. Late at night, Maria meets her son on the porch of the house. She is angry with her son because of his relationship with Mariana. A rock with a note is thrown through the window of Robert's house. The man goes to talk to his daughter. The note says that the girl is dating Santiago Martinez. Robert is angry. The man goes to the guy's house. Mariana asks the guy to pick her up from the house. Back to the present, the heroes arrive at the hospital to see Santiago. Sylvia and Maria are sitting in the corridor. A woman asks the girl about her life. Next, we are shown the events before the fire. Nick and Gina come to spend time in the trailer. The woman wants to go to a plastic surgeon to fix a scar. Nick is sure it's unnecessary. Marianne set fire to the rope he had tied to the chimney beforehand. She wants to scare the adults. Nick and Gina do it. The girl thinks that when she sees the fire, her mother will come out of the trailer. However, the motorhome explodes. Back in the present, Sylvia is breathing fresh air. The doctor talks about Santiago's condition. Everyone goes to visit the man. Sylvia tries to support her daughter. Sylvia is left alone with Santiago. She confesses how she blew up the trailer with their parents. As the characters, Robert drives to Santiago's house. The man is crying. Santiago's car stops beside Robert's. They look at each other. Santiago takes Mariana out of the house. In the present, the daughter prepares a sleeping place for Sylvia. She notices a scar on the heroine's arm. The girl wants her mother to stay at home. Sylvia looks at old photographs. She remembers the past. Santiago and Mariana came to Mexico. The girl tells her friend about the baby. In the present, the heroes go to the hospital to Santiago. Sylvia asks for forgiveness from her daughter. The doctor reports that the operation was successful. At the end, we are shown fragments with the characters of the film. We see Mariana leaving Santiago and Maria, but in the final scene, the woman chooses to stay with her family. Rate this movie in the comments. Do you think the family of characters will have a happy ending? This was the 2008 film He Burning Plain. See you in the following videos.